Here your garden feeds you today. Tomorrow you plant again. Next week you water, weed, pull weeds again. It's an endless cycle that never stops, but what if I told you there's a different way? A way where you plant once and that single decision feeds your family for the next 50 years, maybe longer. I'm about to show you 8 trees that will produce more food over their lifetime than any vegetable garden ever could. Number 3 can drop 400 pounds of nutrient-dense food every single year and tolerates conditions that would kill your tomatoes. Number 1 fed entire nations for thousands of years and still does in parts of the world that remember. The best time to plant these was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Before we dive in, if you're serious about building real food security for your family, hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video. I share strategies every week that focus on systems that last generations, not just quick fixes that disappear by winter. Let's start with number 8, mulberry trees. Here's something most people don't know. You've probably never seen a mulberry in a grocery store, and there's a reason for that. The fruit is incredibly delicate. It bruises if you breathe on it wrong, which means it can't survive the trip from farm to store shelf. So the food industry just pretends mulberries don't exist, but your great-grandparents knew better. A mature mulberry tree drops 50 to 80 pounds of fruit every single year. The berries ripen gradually over several weeks, which means you're not drowning in harvest all at once like you are with other fruits. You pick what you need when you need it. And here's the beautiful part. Mulberry trees don't ask for anything in return. You plant the tree, you walk away, and it just grows. No pruning schedules, no pest control regimen, no fertilizer dependency. The tree handles drought, tolerates poor soil, and honestly doesn't care if you forget it exists. It'll keep producing anyway. Most fruit trees take 6 to 10 years before they give you anything meaningful. Mulberries start producing within 3 to 5 years. That's fast. In parts of Afghanistan and Pakistan, dried mulberries are still a staple food that families store for winter. The dried fruit is about 10% protein, which is extraordinary when you're talking about fruit. You can eat them fresh off the tree, dry them for storage, turn them into jam, freeze them, ferment them into wine. The leaves are edible too and nutritious enough that silkworms survive on nothing else. Plant your mulberry somewhere the falling fruit won't be a problem because it will drop berries for weeks. Water it the first year until the roots establish. Then forget about it and collect fruit every summer for the next half-century. Number 7. Fig trees. You know how figs show up constantly in ancient religious texts and historical records? That's not poetic symbolism, that's survival. Figgy. Trees saved lives when everything else failed. A mature fig tree can produce anywhere from 100 to over 200 pounds of fruit per year. Some large trees produce even more. The fresh fruit is delicious but doesn't last long. The real survival value is in dried figs. When you dry figs, you're concentrating about 1,200 calories into every pound, and those dried figs will store for over a year without refrigeration. For thousands of years across the Mediterranean and Middle East, dried figs weren't a snack. They were a staple food. During sieges and famines, fig trees kept producing when grain stores were destroyed or depleted. When trade routes got cut off, people with fig trees had food. That's documented history, not theory. Fig trees also propagate easily from cuttings, which means one tree becomes many trees without spending money. This is how communities survived. They shared cuttings and expanded their food production. Figs tolerate heat and drought better than almost any other fruit tree. They'll grow in rocky, poor soil where other trees give up. They start producing within 2 to 3 years, which makes them one of the fastest returns on investment you can get with a tree. Plant your fig in full sun with decent drainage. In colder climates, choose cold, hardy varieties or protect the tree in winter. Water moderately while it's getting established. Harvest when the figs are soft and fully colored. Dry them in the sun or use a dehydrator. You've just locked in hundreds of pounds of storable calories every year for the next 50 to 100 years. Number 6. Hazelnut trees. Most fruit trees give you sugar and water. That's nice, but it's not what keeps you alive when food gets scarce. Hazelnuts give you calories and fat, about 2,800 calories per pound to be exact. A mature hazelnut tree produces 20 to 30 pounds of nuts annually. Do the math. That's 56,000 to 84,000 calories from a single tree, and hazelnuts store for over a year in the shell without any special equipment. This is shelf-stable, nutrient-dense food that you grow once and harvest for decades. Hazelnuts grow in temperate climates and aren't picky about soil conditions. They start producing in 3 to 4 years. They're relatively pest-resistant compared to other nut trees. In European history, when grain crops failed during famines, hazelnuts provided the calories and fats that kept people alive. They were gathered from wild trees and cultivated trees alike. Here's the trick. Most hazelnut varieties need cross-pollination, meaning you need at least 2 different varieties to get good production. But once you've planted them and they're established, they produce reliably for 40 to 50 years with minimal care. You can eat hazelnuts raw, roast them, grind them into flour or butter, or press them for oil. Historically, the oil was used for cooking and lamp fuel. Every part of the nut has value. Plant 2 or more varieties for cross-pollination. Pick varieties suited to your climate because some handle cold better than others. Water during the first couple years. Harvest in fall when they drop naturally or when the husks brown. Store them somewhere cool and dry. You've just created a system that produces serious calories for the next half-century. Number 5. Apple trees. Apples are so common that people underestimate them. Don't make that mistake. A productive apple tree can yield 200 to 400 pounds of fruit per year once it matures. That's massive, but the real survival value is in storage and versatility. Apples stored in cool conditions last 3 to 6 months fresh. Dried apples last over a year. You can ferment apple cider and store it indefinitely. Before refrigeration and canning, apples were one of the few fruits that provided nutrition through winter. In American colonial history, every homestead had apple trees because apples were reliable, productive, and storable. When grain harvests failed, apples provided carbohydrates and vitamin C that prevented scurvy. Apple trees also tolerate cold better than most fruit trees, which makes them viable in northern climates where other options won't survive. The downside is patience. Apple trees take 6 to 10 years to reach full production. Most varieties also need cross-pollination from a different variety, but once they're established, they produce for 50 to 80 years with proper care. Choose disease-resistant varieties suited to your area. Plant at least 2 different types for cross-pollination. Be ready to manage pests because apples attract more insects than some other fruit trees, but the productivity justifies it. A family with 4 mature apple trees producing 200 pounds each has 800 pounds of apples every year. That's enough to eat fresh, dry for storage, make cider, and trade surplus. That's food security from trees you plant once and harvest for decades. Number 4. Chestnut trees. Before the blight in the early 1900s devastated American chestnut populations, chestnuts were among the most important food trees in temperate climates. In parts of Europe and Asia, they still are. A mature chestnut tree can produce 200 to 400 pounds of nuts per year. These aren't small nuts. Chestnuts are large, starchy, and filling. They're about 200 calories per 100 grams, which makes them more calorically dense than potatoes by weight. Chestnuts are unique because they're low in fat and high in carbohydrates. Nutritionally, they're more like grain than nut. You can roast them, boil them, grind them into flour for baking, or dry them for storage. In parts of Italy and France, chestnut flour was a staple for centuries. Chestnut trees are massive and long-lived. They can live 300-plus years and grow to enormous sizes. A single tree can produce enough nuts to feed a family for months. The vibe catch is time. Chestnuts take 5 to 7 years to start producing and 20 to 30 years to reach peak production. You're not planting this for yourself. You're planting for your children and grandchildren. During European famines, chestnut forests kept mountain communities alive. When grain crops in the lowlands failed, the trees on slopes and marginal land kept producing. They required no maintenance. They just grew and produced year after year for centuries. American chestnuts nearly disappeared due to blight, but blight-resistant varieties have been developed. Chinese and European chestnuts are also available and resistant. Choose varieties for your climate. Plant in well-drained soil, protect from deer while they're young, then wait. In 10 years, you'll have modest production. In 30 years, you'll have massive production that continues for generations. Number 3, walnut trees. These are dual purpose. They produce food and eventually valuable timber. A mature walnut tree yields 50 to 80 pounds of nuts annually. That's 150,000 to 240,000 calories from one tree. Walnuts store for over a year in the shell. Nutritionally, they're dense with omega-3 fatty acids, protein, and calories. They're one of the best plant sources of healthy fats you can grow. During food shortages, fats are often the hardest nutrients to get. Walnut trees solve this. Black walnut trees are native to North America and incredibly hardy. They tolerate poor soil, drought, and cold winters. They're also allelopathic, producing a chemical called juglone that inhibits some other plants nearby. This means you need to plan where you plant them, but it also means they face less competition. English walnuts produce larger, thinner-shelled nuts that are easier to crack, but they're less cold hardy. Choose based on your climate and priorities. Walnut trees take 6 to 10 years to start producing and 20 to 30 years to reach full production. But they live 150 to 200 years. You're creating a legacy. Historically, people planted walnut trees along property lines and roadsides because eventually they became valuable timber. The food production was ongoing value. During the Great Depression, families with walnut trees had nuts to eat and sell. During World War II, walnut trees provided critical fats when meat and butter were rationed. The trees required no care. They just produced. Plant walnut trees away from gardens because of juglone. Water while they're establishing. Protect from deer and squirrels, then wait. In 10 years, you'll start harvesting. In 30 years, you'll be pulling in pounds of nuts every year. In 100 years, that tree will still be producing. And if you ever need to, you can sell the timber for serious money. Number 2. Carob trees. Most people in temperate climates have never heard of carob, and that's unfortunate because it's one of the most resilient food trees on the planet. Carob produces pods that taste remarkably similar to chocolate. The pods are naturally sweet and can be eaten raw, ground into powder as a cocoa substitute, or processed into syrup. A mature carob tree produces 200 to 400 pounds of pods per year. Here's what makes carob extraordinary. It thrives in conditions that kill most fruit trees. Extreme drought, poor, rocky soil, intense heat. Carob is native to the Mediterranean and has been cultivated for over 4,000 years, specifically because it produces food where other crops fail. Carob pods store for years without any processing. Harvest them, dry them, store them somewhere cool and dry. They'll last 2 to 3 years easily. The pods are about 50% sugar by weight, plus fiber and minerals. They were used as emergency food during sieges and famines throughout Mediterranean history because they were reliable, storable, and nutritious. Carob trees are slow to establish. They take 6 to 8 years to begin producing. But once mature, they produce for 80 to 100 years with essentially zero maintenance. No pruning, no fertilization, no pest control. They just grow in harsh conditions and produce hundreds of pounds of sweet, storable food every year. The limitation is climate. Carob needs Mediterranean or subtropical conditions with mild, wet winters and hot, dry summers. It's not cold hardy below about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. But if you're in the right zone and planning for long-term food security in a warming, drying world, carob is one of the best investments you can make. Plant in full sun with excellent drainage. Water for the first 2 to 3 years until established. Then ignore it. In 10 years, you'll be harvesting hundreds of pounds of sweet pods that store indefinitely and taste like chocolate. Number 1. Oak trees. This might surprise you, but oak trees fed entire civilizations. Acorns were a staple food for indigenous peoples across North America, Europe, and Asia for thousands of years. A mature oak tree can produce 500 to over 1,000 pounds of acorns per year. That's not exaggeration. Hundreds of pounds of food from a single tree annually for 300 plus years. Acorns are about 2,000 calories per pound. They're high in fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Processed correctly, they're nutritious and filling. Most acorns contain tannins that make them bitter and hard to digest. They need to be leached by soaking in water repeatedly to remove the tannins, but some oak species, particularly white oak varieties, produce sweet acorns with low tannin content that require minimal processing. Korean, Japanese, and some white oaks produce acorns you can eat with little or no leaching. Indigenous Californian tribes managed oak groves as food production systems. They cleared underbrush, protected the trees, and harvested acorns as their primary food source. Acorn flour was ground and used to make bread, mush, and other staples. This wasn't supplementary food. This was the foundation of their diet. During famines in Europe and Asia, acorns were emergency food that saved lives. During the Korean War, acorns were a significant food source when other supplies were unavailable. The long-term food security value of oak trees is unmatched anywhere. You plant an oak today. In 20 years, it starts producing acorns. In 50 years, it's producing hundreds of pounds annually. In 200 years, it's still producing. Your great-great-grandchildren will collect acorns from a tree you planted. Oak trees also support entire ecosystems. They provide habitat, improve soil, and create microclimates. They're drought-tolerant once established and need zero maintenance. Choose oak species with sweet acorns if possible. White oak, Oregon white oak, or Asian species like sawtooth oak. Plant in full sun with good drainage. Protect from deer while young. Then step back and let the tree grow for decades. Here's why every year matters. Every year you delay planting these trees is a year of production permanently lost. An apple tree you plant today produces fruit in 6 to 10 years. An apple tree you plant in 10 years produces fruit in 16 to 20 years. The math doesn't negotiate, it doesn't care about your plans or intentions. The best time to plant was 20 years ago when you didn't know you'd need them. The second best time is today, right now, before you need them. Gardens give you immediate gratification. You plant in spring, harvest in fall, eat what you grew. Trees give you delayed gratification. You plant today and harvest in a decade. But that harvest continues for decades or centuries after. Think about this for a second. If your grandparents had planted an oak tree when they were young, you could be collecting hundreds of pounds of acorns right now this year. If you plant that oak today, your grandchildren will have that same opportunity. That's power gardens can't match. You don't choose between annual crops and trees, you need both. Annual crops feed you this year and next year. Trees feed you in 10 years, 30 years, 100 years. A complete system includes annual vegetables for immediate food, perennial crops like berries for medium-term production, and fruit and nut trees for long-term security. When you have all three, you're never dependent on a single timeline. If annual crops fail, you have perennials. If you can't plant this year, the trees keep producing regardless. The families that survived famines best were the ones with diverse food sources across different timelines. They had stored grain from last year, crops growing this year, and trees planted by their grandparents still producing. If you can only plant a few trees right now, prioritize based on your climate. Cold climates, focus on apples, hazelnuts, and walnuts. Moderate climates, add figs, mulberries, and chestnuts. Warm Mediterranean climates, prioritize figs, mulberries, and carob. If you want production quickly, mulberries and figs produce in 2 to 4 years. If you're planning long-term legacy, chestnuts, walnuts, and oaks produce for centuries. If you want maximum calories, focus on oaks, chestnuts, and walnuts. If you need drought-proof storage food, carob is your answer. The universal rule that applies everywhere is this: plant more than you think you need. Trees die, harvests vary, animals eat fruit. Weather damages trees, overplant now and adjust later if needed. Annual gardens are farming, trees are legacy. When you plant a walnut tree today, you're not just feeding yourself in 10 years, you're feeding your children in 30 years. You're feeding your grandchildren in 60 years. You're creating food security that extends beyond your lifetime. That's power annual gardens cannot provide. That's resilient seed packets cannot match. The civilizations that thrived for centuries planted trees. The families that survived multi-generational hardships had orchards and nut groves planted by grandparents they never met. You can be that ancestor. You can plant the trees that feed your descendants decades after you're gone. Or you can keep planting annual crops every spring and hoping each year's harvest is enough. The choice is yours. But the best time to make that choice was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, right now. If this changed how you think about food security and what's actually possible, subscribe to this channel. I'll keep sharing strategies that focus on building systems lasting generations instead of solutions lasting one season. The next video covers water systems that work when the grid doesn't. You'll want to see that.